Yo, what up? It's your boy, Ari Spears here, top of the morning to you. Listen, man, you guys need to stop. All this angry outrage over the Kevin Hart roast, what do you think it stops? Everybody's so angry. Everybody's so mad. Kevin this, Kevin that. Kevin is a sellout. Kevin is a coon. He's never been funny. I read one where somebody said he's only Seinfeld funny. He's only funny to white people. If you think that somebody can be worth $500 million and only be funny to white people, and he's never been as funny as Mike Epps, he's never been as funny as Cat Williams, he's corny, you all should be tested for drugs. There's no way you could be worth $500 million and only be funny to one race. Knock it the fuck off. Even if you don't like him, that's just subjective opinion. But Kevin is still going to be Kevin. You understand? And this is a fucking news story. There'll be something new you'll be mad about in the next 3 to 5 days. It was a roast. You understand? It was a fucking roast. That's what happens at roast. Get over it.
I don't mean to get heavy, but we gotta say something. But I know why. I figured out why they want to hear from me, and it's serious. The only reason people want to hear from people like me is because you trust me. You don't expect me to be perfect, but I don't lie to you. I'm just a guy, and I don't lie to you. And every institution that we trust lies to us.
On June the 6th of 2020, back in 2020, a lot of things happened in 2020. On June the 6th of 2020, Dave Chappelle performed a special stand-up production titled 846 that was released 6 days later on the 12th via YouTube because the traditional method of performing at the time was not available due to the whole social distancing thing brought on by the COVID pandemic. The 846 title came from the length of time Officer Derek Chauvin spent with his knee on the neck of a black man named George Floyd. And during that particular special, Dave was very, very, very candid about how he felt about the George Floyd tragedy that America watched unfold in the media in real time. And although I thought that it was a very, very, very powerful message and piece of history that Dave was up there speaking on, the most important thing he said about why he was speaking on it solidified in my mind, not him as not just one of the greatest comedians we've ever seen, but one of the greatest humans we've ever seen. The special was 27 minutes long, 27 minutes and I believe 21 seconds or something like that, to be exact. And he didn't tell not one joke. Yet I can tell you that from the very beginning till he stood up and walked away, he had my full attention. I remember it like it was yesterday. Because he was saying something. He was drawing a line in the sand. And one of the most profound things he said during his monologue was that when he said that he understood why people wanted to hear from him during moments of civil unrest, and I'll repeat it, he said it was because the people trusted him. Because he doesn't lie to you. He doesn't lie to the people. The last video I did on Kevin Hart was downvoted into oblivion, and I gotta say, I don't really give a shit, right? Because since that video, the only thing that has been confirmed more now than ever is that every single thing that I said about Kevin Hart in the last video I did is absolutely true. I'm not sure where it came from, but there's this weird notion that nobody but comedians understand what a roast is supposed to be. Because Kevin Hart, along with a lot of other comedians, Ari Spears is one of them that comes to mind. They seem to think that only comedians are the ones capable of understanding what a roast is supposed to be and what it's supposed to entail when it comes to comedy. And I don't know if they think that all non-comedians are just maybe stupid or something, or if they have a comprehension problem. I'm not sure if they just really believe that their audience doesn't understand what's supposed to be happening at a roast. But it's really weird and awkward to see Kevin Hart sit on a microphone and talk to everybody over there at the Breakfast Club, trying to make excuses for the decisions that were made on a production where he had 100% creative control. "100% creative control." How the fuck do y'all defend this type of bullshit? Y'all were in my comments defending this. And I actually like Kevin Hart. But even in my fandom of him as a black comedian, it doesn't then make me blind to the fact that everything Kevin Hart said in response to the George Floyd joke and all the backlash that he was getting was to protect the interests of his white audience. How can you not see that? And I told you all in my last video that Kevin Hart is never going to be the kind of comedian that draws a line in the sand and says no to white people. No, white people, that's too far. He's never going to be the one to say it. It was supposed to be a roast of Kevin Hart. So why the fuck are jokes being written in and greenlit by Kevin Hart himself that invoke a controversial moment in time where a black man was literally suffocated and killed by a white police officer that ended up sparking riots and racial tension across the states? Why is it then I gotta be the one to tell y'all something's wrong with this? It doesn't look right. If that's your stance, then stand on it, nigga. That's all I'm saying. Stand on it and don't lie about it when you're questioned about it. He lied. They didn't try to make it better by saying, hey, listen, they joked on my dead parents. Well, that would be in line with the roasting of you. But even still, the part that lets me know that Kevin Hart is full of shit is the fact that we found out after the fact that Kevin Hart knew about it all. He knew everything.
So I think one man's joke is another man's trauma. I think all of us, have the right to either be offended or laugh or whatever. Nobody's trying to intercede. Nobody's trying to make that an issue. What is an issue is there seems to be this idea that only jokes affect one side. And I was struck by when Kevin talked about how, he was talking and he said, what was I supposed to do in the middle of a live broadcast and basically stop somebody from telling a joke? No. But the fact remains that 18 jokes were removed after the live feed. 18 of them were removed, including one that was told about Melania Trump. So if it is that you removed 18, because you very much could have jumped up and stopped somebody from telling a joke. But you and that production were able to take 18 jokes away out of the program so that people not seeing the live feed wouldn't see it. So if you could do that for them, why didn't this happen? And I suspect it is the same reason. People wanted ratings. People wanted controversy. Now you have it. But if you're asking why we are talking about it after 2 weeks, we're talking about the George Floyd joke, I just don't understand after 6 years and many roasts why you're still telling them.
He knew about every joke that was going to be told because he personally knew every comedian and writer of the jokes. And as a result, we found out that because Kevin Hart reserved the right to either include or exclude jokes, specific jokes that were disrespectfully written or deemed distasteful, well, then that means that he 100% knew about the George Floyd joke. He knew it was going to be in there and that he lied to us about it. To our faces. And to that, people will say, well, they had jokes for Charlie Kirk as well. They had jokes. What about the joke for Charlie Kirk? Guess what? I don't agree with those jokes either. Now what? What does a George Floyd or Charlie Kirk joke have to do with the roasting of Kevin Hart? One of you that are out there that are diehard fans of Kevin and of comedy, please draw me the correlation because I'm missing it. But then he didn't just stop there, because he tried to remove himself completely from it by saying, yo, I didn't say the joke. I wouldn't have told the joke. But you greenlit the joke to be told, bro.
Tony told a joke. It wasn't a tasteful joke to us. We didn't like it. Okay. Hey, man, that joke. We move on. I don't understand why we stand on a hill and it becomes like this big thing of like, oh, man, they do this and they're attacking the culture. Remove me from it. I didn't say it. If you are upset that the night went on, that's a different conversation. It's nothing I can do. It's a production. It's a live production.
You greenlit the joke. Then come to find out that there were jokes written to include or exclude Trump and his wife Melania. The jokes that were written in about them, all of a sudden they were excluded, as well as jokes about Tony Hinchcliffe himself. So my question is, again, how are y'all defending this shit? One of you that were in my comment section in disagreement with my take, I would love for you to explain why it's okay to draw the line at Melania Trump, but distasteful jokes made about a black man who was suffocated live in front of everybody, in front of America, gets the green light. Because it's all just jokes, right? So why we exclude some but include others? It's a roast. At a roast, everything goes, right? So I'm asking you all, why the hell are we then picking and choosing which jokes are too far and acting like you had no idea it would be included in the production when it's your production and you knew all along? It's dishonest. And it's some dickless shit to do, honestly. Especially when you're caught in 3D lying about it afterwards. People brought up Cheryl Underwood. Joking on Cheryl Underwood's late husband taking his own life, yes, it's a cruel joke. But she was in attendance for the roast. And she gave permission to be used as a catalyst for it. That's worlds apart and worlds different from the joke on George Floyd. Joking on Kevin Hart's dead parents, cruel joke, distasteful in my opinion, yes. And it wasn't funny to me, but comedy is subjective. And it is the roast of Kevin Hart, who again was in attendance and gave the green light for it to be used. George Floyd, completely different story. Obviously, he's dead. Obviously, no one asked his family, you think we can include this joke? And if I have to explain to you the difference in that, you're either a Neanderthal or you're a disingenuous moron. But either way, I'm looking forward to somebody trying to make it make sense in the comments. And there's not one of you that can sit there and tell me that if you had a relative that was killed in one of the most horrific ways by a white police officer, and then that tragedy was broadcasted around the world for all to see, And the man that appeared to show supposed support for you afterwards showed up to your house, and he stood with you and he stood beside you with your family the entire time. And all of a sudden, he pops up on a Netflix special on his production where he had 100% creative control, laughing at a joke that mocks your relative's death. If any of you are going to sit there and tell me that you wouldn't have a problem with that, I'm going to call bullshit every single time. Because according to you all, we shouldn't stop at the George Floyd jokes then. Hell, let's throw some Breonna Taylor jokes in there. Let's throw some Trayvon Martin jokes in there. Hell, Sandra Bland. Let's throw some of them in there too, right? Hell, let's throw some Malcolm X and Dr. King jokes in the script too. Fuck it. Let's just go ahead and make an entire mockery out of any and every black tragedy, right? Who gives a fuck, right? Fuck out of here. Kevin Hart is a big enough brand where his name alone carries the required weight that a star would need to tell anybody who has a problem with his decisions, with him excluding a George Floyd joke, to eat a dick, to kiss his ass. That's how much cachet Kevin Hart has, but he's never going to do it. He's never going to be that guy. He's big enough and has made enough money for white Hollywood to write his own checks. So if you're sitting there typing in my comments that you agree with Kevin Hart, that he didn't reserve the right to tell his team of white writers to fuck off of the George Floyd joke, then you're a part of the problem, not the solution. You are what's wrong with all of this shit. If Kevin Hart wanted to, he could have fired every single one of his white writers that wrote for this roast and hired a whole new team, and nobody would have checked him about it, because who could? But in typical Kevin Hart fashion, because he would rather preserve white allies than side with the very group of people that have supported and made him who he is, then we got him greenlighting bad and distasteful jokes that had nothing to do with Kevin Hart himself, and then literally lying to the black community after the backlash comes. Listen, I like Kevin Hart. I do. I think it's unfortunate that in a moment where black people asked him for clarity and honesty, that he opted instead to give lies, excuses, and avoid accountability completely in every real way. And that shit shouldn't be respected. It shouldn't. But y'all go ahead and you continue to ride for the bullshit till it's on your doorstep and somebody is disrespecting one of your dead relatives. And let's see if y'all keep that same energy that you got in the comments. I sat there and I watched Kevin Hart tell Lauren LaRosa, she asked him, did you watch my interview with George Floyd's relatives and his parents? Kevin Hart laughed. He said, oh, no, I'm not. No, I didn't watch it, and I'm never watching that.
Did you see the interview that I did with Terrence Floyd, George Floyd's brother?
No.
So he said,
no shot to you.
No, that's no.
I'm never watching it.
That's fine.
I just want to be clear. I'm never watching that.
Oh, okay. Y'all wouldn't feel away? Fuck out of here, man. I'll holler at y'all later.